Real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host and business partner, Joey Sampaga. The man with the method. Oh, we changed that the other day, didn't we?
We did change that. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great, Yeah, that's right. We're the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs, and we're here at Security Tile Studio with an awesome guest, RJ Christopher, team leader and CEO, Keller Williams Legacy One. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Good. We are super excited and pumped up for this event today. With you being in the ring with the Maniacs, we're going to cover a lot of awesome things. I know we are. I've seen the questions, and you guys need to listen in on this one.
Pay attention, because this is good. This is real good.
This is great for your business. So make sure to listen to the entire episode today. So let's first start, RJ, with telling us how long you've been in the business and really what got you into real estate.
Oh, my goodness. I hate to tell you this, but I've been in the business for over 30 years.
30 years?
Really?
Yes.
So what'd you do? Start when you were 5?
I did. Yes. I took this real estate job while I was going to school. I wanted to be a psychologist. And this was just so interesting. And the income potential was so amazing. And I was learning more doing that than going to school. And it kind of just sucked me right in. And now that's all I've ever done.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of psychology you could use in real estate.
I practice psychology every day without a license.
Really?
Yes.
Especially overseeing agents like
That's
you do, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Every day.
All right. Well, a lot of the questions that you have here for the agents, and this is going to be great for agents as far as helping them understand how to build their business, how to really be focused on growth, right? So let's jump right into it. I know one of these questions here, the very first one, fascinates me. This is always a question I think that agents have in their mind, like, hey, when do I do this, right? At what point do real estate agents decide it's time to hire an assistant?
Well, normally they do that when it becomes so painful. So what I like to tell agents when I see them coming out of the chute, and I think this is going to be a top producer, I tell them right away, you need to create a placeholder right now for your assistant. You need to take some percentage of every commission and put it away so that when it's time, you don't have to worry about how much can I afford. You can hire the very best assistant out there. Typically, though, to answer your question, it's when you start having missed opportunities, when you're leaving some money on the table because you're doing so many administrative duties that you're not doing your lead generation, or you're dropping the ball on leads and you're actually giving money away.
Yeah, okay. Because we know that leads are
that's
the number
everything.
one thing, right?
That's the
if you don't
one
have leads,
thing.
then you don't have anything else.
That's right.
So once somebody does decide that, once somebody has made that decision, you know what? It is time.
Right.
I'm feeling that pain. I'm doing all the daily tasks that I could probably have somebody help me with. How do they determine who? Like who
that is the most critical piece of the puzzle, is determining who. And how I usually guide agents, it's very simple. Take a little pad of sticky notes, and every time you do something, write it down. So every time you write a contract, you don't write it on a sticky note, right? But every time you do a task, you write it down. At the end of about a week or 2 weeks tops, you've gotten everything that you typically do in the course of business. And we stick those right on the wall. And pull off the ones that are non-dollar producing activities for the agent. And now we've got a perfect little blueprint of who we need to hire. Is it full-time? Is it part-time? Is it licensed or unlicensed? What should the compensation be for these job tasks?
Okay. So you said sticky note. I was thinking, Joey, she was going to say, put everybody you would possibly hire on sticky notes. Put them on the wall and throw a dart at them. No. So once you've figured out who that is, or not who personally, like the actual person, but as far as what that position looks like, how do you create, do you create like a description for that, a job description, so that people know what you're looking for?
Yeah, start out with a task list. We need that task list right away because, like I said, that's going to determine your compensation model. Start with the task list, and then there's something that I think many agents, probably many business people miss. Not only the tasks, but what are the objectives? So, for instance, if I'm hiring a listing manager, I know what the tasks are, right? Getting the paperwork ready, contacting the sellers, showing feedback. But what's an objective? An objective would be, hey, because of you, I want my days on market average to go from 62 to 52. I want and they're going to do that by identifying price reduction opportunities, right?
Yeah.
I want you to increase my referrals from my Met database from X to Y. Real money-making objectives, which is going to take that person from an expense to an investment.
Oh, I got a question. So, when you're choosing your assistant, right? I know in the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, he was talking about an admin and a coordinator, like two different positions. Would an assistant be one or the other or both?
So you're thinking about that, I think it's on page 197 or 198. Yes, I know that book very well. That org chart, and you'll see that right underneath of the Rainmaker is the admin, and then under the admin is the transaction coordinator.
Correct.
So here's how I've come up in the business. I was that key admin that ended up running majorly big teams, like teams that made over $1 million a year in commission. And that key admin person is hopefully the person that you're going to groom to take over with you. I've been given like a PhD in real estate because my people took me everywhere they went. There was no training opportunity that they had that I did not have. So there's a real difference between your key admin hire and the transaction coordinator.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. So basically the admin person knows everything almost.
Yes.
Okay.
They are the ones, here's another common question. I'm just going to jump ahead here.
Yes, go ahead.
Before I hired my administrative assistant, do I have to have all my systems in place? I've got to have my systems in place.
Yeah.
I say no, and I believe the book says no.
Yes, correct.
Your administrative assistant needs to get all of your systems out of your head and into a procedures manual so your business can be duplicatable.
Wow. Hear that, Jeff?
Wait, are we? I missed that whole segment there. No, I do hear that, Joey. Thank you for pointing that out.
That's awesome.
So should that first person be licensed or not licensed?
Well, there are definite pros and cons to both of those. So a licensed person is going to cost more. There may be brokerage fees associated with having a licensed person on your team.
Okay.
And then the con can be sometimes they decide they want to get back into real estate. Now you've just lost your administrative assistant.
Sure.
Right? So it's really going to be dependent on what you're going to have them do and what those key objectives are.
Okay. Makes sense.
How about a compensation model? What's really out there?
Yeah,
right
you have
now?
a lot of choices. So you'll see assistants being put on a salary, hourly, bonuses, which I don't like that personally.
Really?
Commission only. You have to be very, very careful. I will say I don't want to give any advice on this because the IRS is serious. So you can go to their website and see what they consider an employee versus a 1099 independent contractor.
Okay. All right. When you finally make the decision and you start looking for this person, this first person, how do you go about finding that candidate?
Oh,
what's
good question. That's a big question.
Yeah.
So we talked about the task list. We talk about the objectives. The next step before we can start looking for them is tying that perfect person to the appropriate behavior. Are you guys familiar with the DISC?
Yes.
Dominance, influence, steadiness, and compliance.
Yep.
So dependent on what you're going to have them do, we are going to identify what personality style are we looking for. If it's going to be customer service, then we definitely need some C in there, don't we? We want some detail. And if you want to add in some fast pace, we might want to make them an I, maybe an ISC, perfect for customer service. If we're hiring a showing agent, the I and the S are great for that, right? Listing agent, you want D. They have to be able to tell the seller what they need to hear. So we're going to come up with that profile. We're going to actually create a missing persons report before we start looking. We're going to get so clear that we would recognize that person when they walk in the door. And then the number one best recruiting source for that person are the people that you already know. However, you have to go at it purposefully.
Yeah.
Which means I'm going to give you a call and I'm going to say, hey, Joey, I've got a huge opportunity on my team. I'm looking for somebody who is very customer service based. They move at a fast pace, yet they pay close attention to detail. Who do you know that fits that description? And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to tell them about the job because I don't want them coming up with who they think is right or wrong for it. They don't even know. You've just put in hours deciding who you need to hire.
Wow. Okay.
I know I'm going to be watching this episode quite a few times.
You're going to rewind it?
Rewind it.
All right. So you went through a few of them. Did we just cover every single personality type and what roles fit best?
For the most part.
Okay,
Like
yeah, I
you
just wanna
definitely
make sure
want
it
your
didn't-
accountant and bookkeeper to be a high C, a highly compliant person, right?
Mm-hmm.
One
Okay.
little warning. Of course, you should know where you fall on that scale,
Sure.
right? And there are plenty of free tests out there.
Mm-hmm.
I would hesitate hiring an administrative assistant that had more dominance
Yeah.
than I do, because they're going to want to do it their way,
Sure.
right? And I would want somebody a little bit more compliant if on my administrative team.
Okay, that makes sense.
So at that point, Joey, the Krav would come in handy.
She's
Okay.
like, what is Krav?
Sorry. Sometimes we talk about martial arts and things like that. But
Oh, yes.
if there's somebody that's more driven, we have to put them in their place pretty quick. No, I'm just playing around. How about what is the cost if you make the wrong choice?
Oh my goodness.
Hire the wrong person.
That's huge. So
sure.
when most people look at it, they're just saying, okay, well, I've just paid them a salary for 3 months, right? And let's say that's $9,000. That is not the cost of a bad hire. The cost of a bad hire has to include your time, and everyone should know their dollar per hour. Your time, you're going to spend hours and hours finding them and taking them through a comprehensive interview process. Worse than that, though, could be damage to your reputation. Worse than that, missed opportunities. You know, they drop the ball and you lose repeat and referral business.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How about do you have any tips or tricks to share about the whole interview process? Like,
Yes, I've got
Yeah.
this down.
okay.
So I have learned to give people opportunities to disqualify themselves, because I am basically a high I, high D. I love absolutely everybody. I am optimistic and I overestimate people's abilities sometimes. That's just part of my personality style. So what I do is when I make that exploratory call, that's step one. So I've gotten a name from you, Joey, right? I'm going to reach out to your suggestion,
Okay.
and I'm going to say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you. Would you give me a call at 3 o'clock this afternoon? Now, the reason I'm not having the phone call right then and there, I want to see if they're going to be late calling me at 3 o'clock. You would be amazed. I do not want an administrative assistant that's going to be late for
Yeah.
something so important. So that's a trick. Another thing is, if you're hiring a buyer's agent, don't follow up with them. See how they follow up with you, because that's how they're going to follow up with your clients.
Got
That's
it.
right.
Yeah, so then there are a few other little tricks like that.
Wow. How about your favorite interview question?
Oh, so I just recently started using this. So I'm going to use you, Joey.
Okay.
So,
Yay.
so we're going through the process, and I've got a lot of personality-based questions, right? And I'm gonna say, so Joey, tell me about a common misconception your coworkers have had about you in the past.
Oh, wow.
You would be surprised at what they tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to know that.
Yeah.
You probably can't share any that are way out there, right? Probably not, in case somebody hears it.
Let's not do
After
that.
we stop recording. No, I'm just teasing. No, that's confidential, I'm sure. So.
That's a good question.
That's my
though.
favorite question.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So tell us more about. I know we went through a lot of questions about finding and starting to build that team and that team member. How do you know when you're ready for the next step, like the next
Great
person?
question.
So if you start with the admin person, and then how do you make that decision? Okay, now it's really time.
Right. So I would do the exact same sticky note project. So
Okay.
you're doing all you can do. You've freed up about 40 hours per transaction, right, to put towards lead generation. Now you're going to be creating more leads, creating more opportunities, going on more appointments, having more contracts. You're going to start to overwhelm your assistant, and that's good. So you will both then go back to your sticky notes, look at what's non-dollar productive for you and now non-dollar productive for your key hire.
Okay.
Typically what happens, and it's illustrated in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, is because you are doing so many more transactions now that you're freed up, you want to get away from being pulled into every transaction. And that's why the second hire is usually a transaction coordinator.
Okay.
Okay. So until that point, would the admin person be handling?
Depending
All
if
the
they're
transaction?
licensed or unlicensed. There may be some
Right.
parts of it, like the paperwork part for staying in compliance with the broker.
Yeah.
However, if they're not licensed yet, no, they wouldn't be
Right.
doing
Okay.
that.
All right.
Well, you know how some brokers, they offer a transaction coordinator where you
Yes.
pay them, 75 to 200, however much you want them to do.
Right.
So if that's available to you first before you have an admin. I mean, does it make sense to?
Great point. Yes, it does. So I say get leveraged with as many tools and people as you possibly can before bringing on somebody to your team. So an electronic assistant, I use Google Calendar, and that reminds me 5 minutes, 10 minutes before every appointment. There are very good real estate specific CRMs out there. That can be your first assistant as well. There are contract to close plans, listing management plans, and it will remind you so you don't wake up at 2 a.m. saying, oh my gosh, I forgot to check on that Benzer or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So leverage yourself with that, and then you're going to have to go into the people leverage.
Got it.
And that changes your world when you do it right.
Okay. All right. Can you tell us more about your role?
My role
at Legacy One, right?
Yeah.
And like, what's the process now? I mean, are you still just constantly team building and looking for more people, I'm assuming?
Yes. So up until a few years ago, I coach top agents across the country. So that is my favorite part of my job. So I'm basically in charge of just 4 things: profitability, productivity, growth, and the culture of the office. And so the productivity comes in. If I can help my people grow and make more money, it's beneficial for the market center. So me having some one-on-one time with people, having them help them build their team, or going in with their teams this time of year and doing their team advances, their business planning for the year, that's my favorite part of the job.
Okay, wow. And if any agents that are listening today would want to reach out to you directly, can they
absolutely
do that? How would they do that?
You can text me on my cell, 602-350-1967, or email rjchristopher@kw.com. I actually have agents from all different brokerages doing that all the time. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you know what's great about that? We learn from each other,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now, this has been great. What do you think, Joey?
No, this is really
We're learning some
good.
things?
Yes.
All right, but it's time to get in the ring. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get in the ring. What's the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
How about this? One of the differences between an amateur and a professional is an amateur has to think about it and study it, and a professional takes action and knows that they're going to learn from the action.
Wow.
That's huge.
That's real huge.
That is. That's
like
awesome.
that
I like that a lot. How about a book recommendation?
Okay, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, of course.
Yep.
Love that book. I read it all the time. And I just recently discovered, I don't know why it took me so long to discover it. I've known Michael Mayer for a while. The 7 Levels of Communication.
Oh, yeah.
Read that book. It is amazing. There are so many good ideas in there. I think Michael Mayer gets like 500 referrals a year.
Wow.
This book is amazing.
Wow. Okay. We'll do it. We'll get it next.
Check that one out.
How about the last question here? We'll have you draw from the mask.
Oh, okay.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
Scary.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. If you could spend a day with someone famous, dead or alive, who would it be?
Wow.
It would either be Jesus or Mother Teresa.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I aspire to be more giving in my life, more humble in my life, and those two are the top.
Those are great.
Yes.
I think Joey and I would
Yeah.
agree.
Jesus would be my number
Yeah,
one.
number one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's a little busy, so if he wasn't available, I would take Mother Teresa.
There you go.
No, this has been great info. Thank you so much, RJ.
Thank you. This was fun.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to have her come back again and do another show with us.
I think we will.
Yes.
I would love it.
We're going to have to
Yes.
do that. Well, thanks for coming in. If you need to reach out to RJ, she gave you the number earlier in the email. I think it would definitely benefit a lot of agents to reach out and see how this whole system works. I think it's awesome.
Yes.
All right. Well, folks, until next time, this is Jeff Underwood along with
Joey Sampaga.
signing off from Real Estate Marketing Maniacs.
Later.
30 Title Studios. See you later. All right. Good job. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
The Weekly Closer podcast is sponsored by Jake Krabby, NMLS number 877141 at Academy Mortgage. Are you looking to buy or refinance a home? Jake Krabby is your mortgage professional. Contact Jake at 480-442-9291.
Jake Krabby is a loan officer at Academy Mortgage, NMLS number 877141. State license for Arizona number 0920357, AZBK number 0904081, and New Mexico number 877141. Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, and New Mexico 01451. Call 480-442-9291. Address 15333 North Pima Road, Suite 205, Scottsdale, Arizona 85260. Academy Mortgage is an equal housing lender.